Call the June 12th highway meeting to order at 12:37. Roll call. We have everyone present. Approval of minutes from the May 8th.
Maybe 8:37, not 12:37.
8:37. That's what I said. Did I say 12:37? Oh, well, you know, it's a long day.
It's all good, man.
8:37. There you go. I was looking at the 12 and 88. Approval of minutes. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Not opposed.
Okay, good. Public comment.
I was just late on the draw.
Yes. Public comment. How do you starts?
Yeah, so for those that want to have public comment, just state your name, where your place of residence is, and
I'm Dave White. I'm working with Brian White. He's the one that's asking for the driveway variance. He's got a property on Highway C down in the township of O'Galley. He's doing basically a 40 by 70 off-grid shed house, 2-bedroom. Perk test has been done for an at-grade perk. And it sort of interferes with his existing driveway, not at the road connection, but on the property. So we've asked for a variance to move the driveway to the south property line. And there's a corner there. Talked to Isaac and he said right now currently it's 400 feet. And from the corner to his south property line is about 386 feet. So we're looking for a 50-foot or less variance to move the driveway to a south property line. And it just lays out for his property. I got to leave, but he can answer all the questions, but that's, I think Jerry's probably the most familiar with it. I think he's on Highway C. Right now it's his hunting property and like to make it as a future residence. I'm going to probably take off here. So, but I worked with Mark with DKS. So he was the one that was highly recommending. So he wrote all the spec for it, adding the culvert, which we can get all those details, but that's basically the gist of what we're looking for. This is Brian right there, so I'll let him answer the question. Okay, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
I got to stand up. So that's, I don't know, he pretty much summed it up. I don't know if you had whatever question.
yeah, we do have this as an action item. So you're more than welcome to stay. It's at the end of the agenda. So like I said, that's totally up to you. If you want to stay.
There's no house there now.
No,
Okay. Looks like
I mean, I have a 12 by 20 cabin sitting
Oh,
there.
okay, that's what that is. Okay.
And then there's I got a 20-foot container and a 40-foot steel container.
Okay.
But eventually I want to get rid of them.
Things sitting there. Okay.
This one had the perk test done on the current driveway where it comes in, the septic would kind of interfere with the driveway that's coming in now. That's kind of the reason I wanted to put it on the south end. Plus the driveway right there on the corner is gonna go down the hill right there, so it's kind of a dangerous intersection. They're pulling in and out.
So you're saying you're trying to get off the hill a little bit and get down, but you're closer to the intersection, so that's safe, you.
Mm-hmm. I think Isaac said it was, your rule now is like 400 feet or something, and from where I want it to the current driveway was like 380 something or 60 something. They said I would need like 40 somewhere feet, but then that was Charlie Weber's going into Charlie Weber's land, and he was gonna sell me that 7-acre piece at first, but then when I called him, he doesn't want to sell it now.
Yeah, and that means we can review a little bit more detail on on the agenda.
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, we'll be discussing it. Something on at that time, so. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Uh, Number 6, staff reports.
So we'll just go through the highway agenda today. So highway shop operations, equipment updates, engineering project updates, our 2024, 2029 STP rural urban bridge awards. Old County Road E jurisdictional transfer discussion, WISDOT Northwest Region Safety Event and 2024 highway financials. And then there's some consideration for actions, when we get that far. So I'll let Brent talk about the field operations on what our crews are doing currently.
Currently, today, we are paving on County Road H between 29 and Elk Mountain. We have pulverized H South Rock Falls, H by Elk Mound. We did the rec park for facilities. We have not done anything there yet. We gotta do some grading. We gotta tear out some more blacktop that you gotta give us some final answers if they want to do a little more or not. So most of our crew is paving right now. We've been prepping, grading, paving. We still have our spray patchers out in a couple townships up north. We have one crew that is out putting a box culvert in the town of Lucas. I'll let Isaac talk about that a little later. He's in charge of that. We are also mowing on the state. We started about a week ago and we're trying to, with the staff we have, we're trying to get as much mowed as we can, but it takes about almost everybody to pave and fill all the trucks and run the paving crew. So currently that's what we're doing right now. We'll also be shouldering afterwards. We have lots of other work to start on. We have County Road Z to start on. We have more ditching and culverts to put in for regular maintenance. We have some craft cone crack filling yet to do on a few roads before we get into our chip sealing. So we have plenty to do. We're very busy trying to work in between the rain. I know yesterday we had a little bit of a delay during that rain, when we're putting the final mat on. You really can't be working in the rain. When we're working on top of gravel, we can pave in at least light rain. So other than that, I mean, man, we're busy. There's no shortage of work right now. So you guys are all giving her, and I know Dustin loves it when I say that, but yes, they are giving her, and we've been starting early and some a little late and trying to get our, that box culverts being a little bit of a bear with the wet ground, but we'll get through it. So any questions?
So when can we start using Highway B on at least one lane?
I thought they had that.
They had it open
Cross
once.
traffic.
I'll talk about that when we get that far, but
Okay, I was just gonna say.
yeah.
I know they had it open at one point, and I don't know if Dustin's been dealing with the contractor over there on that. Anything else? And I guess dealing with all the rain and the moisture and the down trees, we've had trees across the road, and we've been, when it is raining or misting or sprinkling, we are out cleaning up trees when we can. So yeah, we are, guys are moving. Anything else? Okay. Anything on your end?
Just to add to it, obviously, we finished the pedestrian trail between the government center and the judicial center. That turned out really well, in my opinion. So that is completed and open for utilization. So
Said they got a ribbon cutting what, on the 17th?
I don't know. The city of Menominee and the county are gonna have some ribbon cutting ceremony, I think. To have a joint, project.
I've seen people on there walking.
That's for bikes and walking, right?
Yes. Everything but, vehicles. And I did see somebody must have went over from the judicial center parking lot and got stuck or something because it was wet with the topsoil that we just put in there, and somehow they, I don't know.
Thought it was for a vehicle.
They turned around, but according to the tracks that I saw, but always be those individuals that'll try that.
So is that trail now complete for, from Menominee? Cause it goes like on 94,
it's a
you
complete-
make
it's a
a whole
complete
loop
loop.
now?
And yes, there are plenty of people that use it.
Yeah.
A lot of Huber and all that jazz.
Yeah.
There's some pictures.
But I thought Dave did quick work and good work on it. They did a good quick job on it. So he didn't waste any time, and it was amazing material that we put in there and how all our big dump trucks can drive on all that easily. We got the sand filled from across the road and it was really good fill. So I don't think they ever sunk at all. So, with all the moisture and everything, so it went well, I thought.
Yeah.
But I have some work to do. I'm gonna excuse myself, but
Thanks, Brent.
thank you
Hey,
guys.
Brandon.
Well, we'll go into our shop operations. I'll have Dan touch base on what's happening around the shop.
Okay, morning, man. Morning. So far, of course, we're doing routine maintenance on all the trucks and equipment. The trucks have been working really well, triaxles and quads. We've had basically zero to, to very little of any kind of issue with them. A light, maybe tail light or something like that, which really helps out. So that's been really good. We put together a blade order for 2024, which we will show you here. We should have the quotes need to be back by June 24th. So be ready for next meeting for approval. I did talk to Brent Creaser yesterday, and he really likes his new sign truck that we did for him. Everything's working great on it. We did receive, which is our number 209 tandem axle plow truck from Universal. And the guys put the brine tank in and the brine system all completely on it, ready to go. And then we removed it, so it's, ready to go for the fall, so we can put it on right away. And they're just putting a hitch on the back of it right now, which should be done soon. If you guys are welcome to come out and look at it if you'd like. Nice looking truck.
What's it used for in summer?
In summer,
Yeah.
it's a state truck, so that this whatever state beat that it goes on, that one that was in charge of using that for checking his roads and patching. We are putting a patch pan on it also today for him.
You said that's a state truck. Do they pay for that truck then?
The state, they pay for it, the hours that we use it, yes, revenue. Mhm. So we get the revenue to pay for it, so the more we can use it, the better.
They don't purchase it for us.
Yeah, no,
When we say state truck, it's utilized on the state route.
yeah, we get that.
Can you use that for any, like local, or you can that too?
Yeah,
But you just can't charge the state for that part of it.
correct, yeah,
Okay.
correct, yeah, I said. The fuel tanks, the last time we were here, we were talking about hydroplasting them. The fuel tanks have all been painted, all the decals are on it. The state inspector come and looked at it and proved everything, and it looks really nice, so that's taken care of. We did receive the new trade out of the mini excavator, so that completes the trade out of all the track machines and the skid steer for the new year. And the excavator. We have ordered plow equipment to build those 2 tandem axle trucks that we're gonna do in-house here.
And the reason that, we're gonna do that is the fact that we can't get the next two in Universal until December and January, so that, the trucks will be just sitting here. And it's about a 16-week delay to get the equipment, which is, yeah. Kind of tough.
Is pushing the
Yeah.
date out there too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We really haven't any catastrophic failures at all. I mean, everything has been, yeah, all the equipment, everything. The month of May, just so you know, I guess we used 9,930 gallons of gas and diesel. Compared to last year, we used 11,462, so we were used basically 1,500 gallons less, which is a good direction to go. We've been using less fuel, and I would credit that to a lot of these newer trucks, not burning as much, more efficient. Other than that, I guess that's about all I have. If you guys have any questions or anything that I need? No. No. Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, yeah, thank you. I gotta get back, so, excuse me.
I might buy out that truck.
Certainly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like Dan mentioned, we ordered the equipment there for completing two chassis plow trucks ourselves internally here. As you can see, this is the 209 truck. That's a picture there. I just wanted to point out, we do have a new emblem on our side of our truck.
I was gonna say, I like it.
Instead of the badge, the Dunn County badge that we've had for many, many years, we've elected to go to something like this. We are doing that internally, so our sign department makes those internally. So going forward, this is what we'll be putting on our new trucks and equipment. We're not gonna redo all the trucks, but just going forward. Sure. Going into our engineering and project updates, I'll touch base on some of this and I'll have Isaac get involved as well. So our County Road D project, that's the Irvington Hill, basically from 420th Street all the way to County Road K. 90% plans have been completed. They are currently being reviewed by WISDOT. Right now, the estimate that was provided for this project has increased of approximately 35% from when we had the initial agreement signed by the state back in 2020. So
it's from 2020's bid price or whatever.
yeah, so when we applied for this, we put a cost estimate on what this project was gonna be, and it's 35% more than what we originally estimated in 2020. So the design engineers are going to be completing a change management request to DOT for additional funds. Unfortunately, it's not guaranteed. We are hearing from other counties that the DOT is denying some of these change management requests.
Is this an 80/20 project or?
This is an 80/20. So obviously that, if denied, the 80/20 could be more like 50/50. We don't know. Yeah, so that's something we'll have to go down, once we get information, down that path. Our County Road B project, from 1229/994, Haas Sons is the contractor on that project. They have started the northbound lanes of the project by installing the storm sewer and removing the base materials and inadequate soils to add the proper base amounts. As you can see in the picture, that's basically down to subsoils, and then they add 15 inches of base on top of that. So that's going pretty good. I believe right now they're anticipating Chippewa Concrete to come in, who is a subcontractor, to start the concrete mainline process. I believe the week of June, the third week in June, when they're going to start doing this, which will be coming very shortly. So they're going pretty good. They're right by kind of Walmart distribution right now, going north towards the Quick Trip intersection.
But what happens to the old cement that's ground up? Do they use that to help the base to lift or not, or does that just go?
So the materials are hauled offsite. So the contractor gets those materials basically. So to touch base on the County Road B project, that's our local project from I-94 to Packer Drive. Basically, everything north of the railroad tracks is probably about 95% completed. The main line, railroad signals, everything are installed, street lighting. There is some asphalt shouldering that needs to be done on the northbound lanes, as well as some approaches, asphalt approaches on the railroad crossing. This was opened up last week, Monday. But we shut it down last week, Friday, due to safety concerns. We had a lot of people not reading the signs, going through there. Obviously, there's bumps. People were flying through there, and semis were not stopping. It was just an absolute congestion. So we actually had one semi that was trying to turn out of Cenex to go northbound through that little turn lane there, and actually damaged one of the railroad signal lights. So I would say it was very congested, so we elected to shut it down until the contractor can get the northbound lanes done from I-94 to the railroad crossing. They're telling us within about 2 weeks, they should have that done. So currently, safety is our main priority for traveling public as well as the people working there. So we elected to shut it down. Posted on Facebook, it sounded it was pretty positive. The individuals were saying we agree that it probably is the best choice. So yeah, we're looking at having it closed for another approximately 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's unbelievable how many semis come up in that intersection. It's just constant, and like I said, it's pretty chaotic. The county's Road C Muddy Creek Bridge, obviously you can see the picture, that's going pretty good. The abutments have been poured, the girders have been set, and I actually was down there yesterday, and the deck is actually poured. So they are letting that cure. I believe it's 7 days before they will start doing the railing and all that good stuff. So right now, timeline, I believe, is July 8th to have this bridge opened up and completed. So they're coming along really nice, and project looks great. Any questions so far? I'll let Isaac step in.
Morning, guys. Another project, last week and a half or so here, we've been working on the town of Lucas, 90th Street box culvert. So this is Gilbert Creek. It'd be just south the Knapp exit. On I-94, if you come straight south off of Q, there's the town road that kind of winds down the valley, meets up with the N. So this is right at the bottom of that hill on 90th Street. Existing box culvert was just a little deteriorating. It was 15.5 foot by 8 foot existing structure. We're putting in a 16 by 8 precast concrete box culvert.
Yeah, my dimensions are wrong, sorry. I have 14 by 8.
I was gonna say,
So,
But yeah, it's coming along. You can see they dammed up both sides. They've made a little more progress, or quite a bit more progress from that picture, but they got the toe wall in on the west side. Working on the toe wall on the east side of the culvert today, and have the rock, 2-inch clean rock as the base, kind of spread out for underneath the structure. So they're going to be setting the new. There's a crane coming in from Dawes tomorrow, and they'll be setting the structure tomorrow.
that's if we don't get a lot of weather tonight.
Yeah.
Supposed to again.
Yeah,
tonight, tomorrow.
storm and crap.
It's one of those we could get nothing, we could get a bunch.
Yep. In this particular channel, comes really, really quick.
Too bad. So I'm kind of curious, is that like how, where does all that water go?
So we have a diversion, you can't see it, it's just
Yep.
off the picture, it's a pipe we put in through the road, it is a temporary. And then we dam it up and that water goes through that pipe.
So
It's only like a 36 inch pipe.
So if we get a lot of water, it's,
It potentially could reach our, dam that we have.
Yeah, and then they'd be cleaning up, you know, if the water did rush through there, there'd be some cleanup tomorrow and yeah, but
bunch of
cross our fingers. Cross our fingers that we don't get a lot of rain today, so.
And I'd like to just add, this is, in my career, this is the largest structure that we have ever installed. Size wise, this is one of the largest structures that Weezer will make, one cell.
Okay.
I believe it is 16 foot is the max they will go.
Yeah, initially they said they wouldn't make it and then they must have made some calls and yeah, it's on the top end of what they'll do.
So
Yeah.
how much is on top, like how much fills on top of that box culvert?
1 foot.
That's rated for, what are they rated for?
100,000 pounds plus. Yep. Yeah, it's quite a structure. We'll have more updates when we set it and pictures and
Along the sections they come in, 10-foot sections or
8 foot.
8-foot sections.
They might be 6, just because of the weight.
Wait,
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't recall what the end sections were. What were they?
the
50,000 pounds?
yeah, yeah. The apron as well.
It's pretty heavy.
Looks like a foot thick, the concrete is going up.
Yeah,
The base is a foot, the walls are 10,
8 inches,
8 inches.
then
Base.
12 on top. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get some more pictures for you for next meeting. There's structures under 20 inventory, so our DOT program, we're inventorying all structures between 6 feet and 20 feet. Our inventory and all the towns that elected to have the highway department inventory their structures. We've completed those. County structures are uploaded into WSDOT's system, HSI. And then we'll continue to work to upload the town's structures. And then once that's complete, we'll submit for reimbursement from the DOT. There's $100 per structure that we've inventoried. We'll get reimbursed for that work. Then the other projects upcoming, this summer, County Road Z, be the last phase down by Old Galley, where we left off at 90th Avenue down to County Road D. That'll start after the Lucas Box culvert's completed, so next week. They'll begin with some culvert replacements down there. County Truck Highway H repaving, that is actually complete. Was it yesterday they finished there? So they put the final mat on the last 2 days. So all that's left down there, some shoulder work. And then County Road H paving, like Brent said, they're working on that stretch by Elk Mountain. Starting with the binder, so.
And that's just
Yeah.
a picture of County Road H South 85 of before and after, what it looked like prior. What it looks like, I guess, today. As you can see, only one lift is on one side there, so that's. Picture's a little old, a day late, early, I should say. That's pretty much all we got on the engineering
That's why
side.
they've been complaining about speeding in it.
Yep,
On
yep.
there, so
Yeah,
yeah.
put rumble strips out there, sir.
They're gonna be a lot faster now than they were before. Huh?
pretty much. Not much I can do about it, though. It's an enforcement issue, so, yeah. Well, there's no other questions. We'll go right into the agenda. So just wanted to touch base, on the 2024-2029 STP Rural, Urban and Bridge, program. So we applied for STP Rural and, were denied, our applications. I believe we submitted 3 of them, and all 3 of them were denied. We did, were awarded 8 bridge structures, 4 on the county and 4 on the town and municipal level. As you can see, these are the bridges that were awarded based on the condition state. Anytime a bridge falls within a sufficiency or it's deficient like 50% capacity of its original design, that's when you can apply for federal funding through the DOT. So there's the list of all the bridges, pretty common. The one bridge that I do want to point out is a very costly one, is the County Road D on North Tanner, that Hay River comes into Tanner Lake. So that bridge is structurally deficient based on the condition. In particular, the abutment structure, which you can't, it's off the picture here. But the slopes are straight up and down, which is concerning. Obviously, there is no footings on that bridge. It's just spread footings, founded on sandstone, and it's eroding out pretty good. So Ayers Associates had completed the application for us. We were awarded funding for that bridge. Right now, the cost estimate to complete that bridge is $3.8 million. We would be on the hook for 20% of that. Mind you, 3.8 is including the design, the construction, all of that.
So do you know what they would be doing for it? Like attaching it to land, what they would be doing, or?
So we would be looking at lengthening the current bridge. Obviously, that poses a potential issue with the intersections that are in close proximity. So that's something we'd have to, when we get into the design phase, on how long the bridge needs to be, what type of footings it needs, that'll all be determined once we get into that. The design of all these structures are gonna start in fiscal year 2025, which actually starts here in July 1st for the DOT. I'm currently reviewing it, and Isaac has reviewed the maintenance agreements, so we have not signed them yet. But these are the ones that we were currently looking through. We are the sponsors, so the county is the sponsor for all town and municipal structures. So we would be overseeing all the town and municipal bridges through the entire process. So we would be doing all the solicitations, we would be doing all that, coming up with an engineering firm. We would do all the, should I say, the dirty work on behalf of the towns and the villages. All their structures were 100% funded for the construction phase and I believe the design phase. I'll have to look into that a little further. Why they're 100% funded is based on the classification of the roadway. If it's considered a local road or a minor collector or less, then it gets 100% funded. That's just the way the DOT and the feds have put the funding together to try to extend it as much as possible. So we only have one structure out of the 8, or 1 out of the 4 for the county that's 100% funded, and that's the one on Double H over by Elk Mound.
So this picture, is that the one there by like the Loggers Inn?
Yep, High Bridge. Yeah, we call that the High Bridge.
Okay,
Yeah.
is there any part of that bridge that can be saved in, or you have to go from scratch?
I don't know that. That's a determination, what the engineers will have to come up with.
So the pillars in the middle that goes in the water, they might not be able to.
As of right now, I would beg to say no.
Okay.
But those piers, if you go out there and look at that bridge, those piers look like they're brand new. And this bridge, I believe, was built in the, I don't recall, sixties. So yeah, like I said, it's,
The old ones are still down there, aren't they?
I don't know. I know the old bridge was just up or downstream of this. Yeah, I think it's a lot smaller. Can't get it.
But yeah, that's eroding. When you go, like, things are falling off the banks in here.
Yeah, so the biggest issue, like I said, is the determining the length, obviously the cost, and then
Two times.
what we're gonna be doing with those intersections.
Yeah, 'cause they're awfully close on the
I know.
south end.
Not right on top.
So our bridge budget for 2028 is just crazy stupid.
Yeah. You're out in
Yes.
the lake, yeah, you probably get there more.
I mean,
I mean, if you take,
that's like a 25% of our budget normal.
yeah, so, obviously, if we have to pay 20%, it's still a big chunk of change. This is one of our most costly structures. I would say the Cedar Falls Bridge is probably gonna be the most expensive when that has to get replaced, and I can probably tell you, I would say in the next 10 to 15 years, that bridge will have to be replaced. Based on its condition, maybe even sooner, so.
It's kind of similar to this
What
one.
about
It's
the
got
one-
that sandstone.
very
thing
similar.
on
What
each
about the
side.
one in Irvington?
That is in the rehab process, so we're gonna be redecking that and then.
Yeah, I knew we were redecking it, but that's gotta be a pretty,
Yeah, that would be a costly one to fix or repair, but, yes, that one's in a condition state where it's still quite good yet, so. We won't have to worry about that in my time frame here at least, so. Thankfully.
So why do we get some funding for the local ones, but the surface transportation program, what was different? We got none, we denied all three of them.
So there's 4 different programs. There's a surface transportation for rural roads, surface transportation for urban roads, which basically municipal, in a municipal boundary. And then there's a surface transportation for local roads and then bridges. So there's 4 different programs. We applied for the STP rural and STP local. We had one in the STP local, that was our county road double B from 25 to 12. That project got denied. And that was the 3rd time we've applied for funding on that. And then we applied for 3 projects on the STP rural and all of them were denied. I would beg to say it's probably due to the bridge funding. So we got all of our bridges funded and that's probably the big reason.
Okay.
I would say another reason is our County Road B project, went over budget and, there was two or three change management requests that were approved. So that goes towards our entitlement of what monies get allocated to each county, so. I can't speak on behalf of the DOT, but that is what I believe is the reason.
And they all were like 80-20 or
Yeah.
they something, okay.
Correct. So we didn't get funding on our roads, but we did get funding on our bridges, which is still critical.
Yeah.
So. Any questions? If not, we'll move on. I wanted to bring to your attention, our County Road E. So we have a section of County Road E that we still maintain. Back in 2004, County Road E was realigned from Eau Claire County line to basically that matching point where Old E that we classify Old E. The old roadway, did a real sharp, curve there, which is 1001 Street, currently what it's labeled there, that went over the, Elk Creek Dam. And obviously that was abandoned, rerouted, and for some reason, I don't know why, but the old portion of County Road E, is still under our jurisdiction. So we still maintain it. We still do everything with it. We still get, gas tax on this. It's just, I would say a forgotten road, that in my opinion, we need to look and explore a jurisdictional transfer to the town of Springbrook. They basically drive on this road to get to their roads when they're maintaining them. So I've reached out to the town of Springbrook. They are willing to take this road over, only if it's repaved per their standards. And not just an overlay, that means they want it pulverized and repaved. The last time that road was done was in 1970s. I think it was 1974 was the last time that road was completed. It is in poor condition, with potholes, cracks everywhere.
That might, just be their first offer too. They all always ask for for everything, but then they'll negotiate down.
If I know the town of Springbrook, they will not budge.
I was gonna say, they're not gonna budge.
So there's a loop that comes off of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, it just circles around and comes back to it, right?
So that green line basically stops at the dam, and then there's that loop that goes to, they call it Zealy Park.
Yep.
And that goes to the dam. So we still have that jurisdiction on that little stretch as well.
But I'm saying on that other road, isn't there like a township road that loops around too?
Yeah, this right there, there's a conglomeration of roads back in there.
Well,
And that's what I'm saying is town of Springbrook has to literally drive on that to get to.
Well, they approached me about trimming, because that's way overgrown back there.
Oh, yeah. That's the jungle back in there.
So, I mean, how many houses? There's not a ton of houses back there, is there? There's a fair
lot.
Is there?
Oh, there's quite a few back there.
It continues to the north, and I think there's a couple other roads right to the north that it connects to.
Yes, there's quite a few houses back in there. If I had to guess, I would say about 100 houses.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a few. And
So
if you don't know where you're going, you can get lost back in there.
You have a good turnaround when you come to the dam to go back.
It just basically stops. It comes to a dead end, and
Is there a cul-de-sac or anything for the trucks to back and turn around and go back out? Because they can't.
somehow our crews are doing it. So it is quite wide when you get down to the dam, I believe. It's probably 30 feet wide.
Okay.
And it's kind of a weird situation down there. It's like, I don't know, the road is basically a parking lot. So when you get down towards the dam. But
So any idea on cost, what that cost to do that?
so in your packet, I put together just an estimate. I know for some reason I didn't put that in there.
It's weird. I seen it someplace. Where was that?
So after the picture of Old E there, yeah, that's just a DOT just showing that we have jurisdictional, maintenance of that road. And then I put together a cost estimate, to pulverize and repave that. As of right now, based on the numbers that I have in front of me, I would beg to say it's about $82,000 to pulverize and repave that.
Now, what do we collect on that a year for gas? State aid?
I don't know exactly what it is broke down.
So how long,
So it's 0.41 miles, just
So all
from,
that green is, wait. Oh, yeah, less than half a mile.
It's just from Amy Chapel down to the,
I
just down there.
Left it at all. I mean, I've been on E, but hopefully that's spent
Yeah.
2,000.
I don't know.
well, it's not, I mean, like, there's no reason you don't want it. It's just the services, all the people back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to nowhere other than loop, because you can't even get out of there, right? There's no
You can't.
outlet. It's just,
So that road's the only way.
You can go north and that comes out to a town road that you can cut back down to E.
oh, okay,
Yeah, it's,
okay, yep, I know what you're saying, yep.
And Eau Claire County.
yeah, there's like a taxidermy down there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area back in there. It's, like I said, it's a zoo down in there.
Think about driving.
And if it comes out, it comes back out to the west or,
It comes out to the west, yes.
okay.
There is a way to get to Eau Claire County side as well, but I've never taken that way.
Okay, I was thinking it just came all back out there, but. So at some point, we're gonna have to do something with it either way, if we keep maintaining it, you're saying?
We either stick $82,000 into it and we keep it, or we stick $82,000 and give it away.
And you're not sure what the gas is gonna be collect on it.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it's very minimal.
I would assume.
So
For that stretch of the road.
is the road good enough where you could just go run a tar on it? If we kept it.
Like a seal coat?
They won't take it over. That's what we do.
No, I
But he's saying.
If we decide to keep it,
Oh,
just,
yeah.
just to try to keep the road up, just one layer, like grind it, or not grind it, but what the heck am I trying to say?
Put an overlay on
Put an overlay on it.
Yeah, that is an option. That is the first thing that I basically presented to the town of Springbrook, because it would cut costs.
Yeah.
As of right now, they were unwilling to look at an overlay.
But they want a brand new road is what they want,
Correct.
if for nothing.
Well, they want it and not have to look at it for 25, 30 years.
But you'd think, like, just to keep their residents happy, that they'd want to, improve it and maybe pay for part of it at least.
They have so many roads, that county or that township has like the most amount of roads.
They have
in the county.
over 90 miles of road, which is double what a normal town is.
Red Cedar,
And they're
up there.
Like 45 miles.
No, Red Cedar has more than that. They have 70.
And they don't have a lot
Yeah,
of,
they
they
do.
don't have a lot of, like, this is one of the concentrated areas, otherwise they got all these roads they gotta take care of that don't have hardly any people on them.
Yeah.
Well, it's so rural, so I don't think they have much for money is what their problem is. Or they,
Yeah, but they're getting all the money now from the solar farms out there.
They haven't built it yet.
yeah,
You gotta build it before you get money.
And like I said, we at the county don't have to do a jurisdictional transfer. I mean, I'm just looking at it as this road, in my opinion, serves no purpose for the county.
Right.
Long-term, are we gonna be sticking money into something that I don't think we utilize or need?
Right.
There's always gonna be maintenance costs. There's always gonna be plowing, winter maintenance. And I'm not lying, it is a forgotten road. Some of our employees, if you even asked that we still have this road, they don't even know about it.
so shoot from the hip, what would it cost to overlap? Or what would be the minimum cost that we could get this, so it's decent to get us by for 10, 15 years, something like that?
Money on it, I don't know.
I mean, it sounds it's past crack sealing and chip paving, whatever.
I would say an overlay would be about 55,000.
And then that's estimated good for how long versus
Typically, a pulverize and repave is 20 to 25 years. Overlay, you're looking at 8 to 10.
But the traffic on that road
It's
is
like,
not conducive to semis in that, right?
No,
Or big farming equipment, so
it's
just a
95% of it is residential.
yeah,
and
it
they
would
all,
last a long time, longer than.
'cause I've heard too that the amount of damage that a big truck does compared to a car is astronomical. Just waiting that, so
Correct.
maybe an overlay would be, still a lot of money to spend on it, but it would probably, they think they had a brand new road.
is
I
that
know,
out
but then
of
they
our
won't
pocket?
take it over.
Yes,
Completely out of our pocket.
this would be at our cost.
I guess I'd be curious of what we actually do get back in state aids on it. If it's not much, then it seems better off getting rid of the darn thing.
Well, I'd like to see
I mean,
rid of it for 82,000, like,
Yeah, I mean,
Traditionally, I believe our gas tax is right around 1.6 million a year. annually for 425 miles of road.
So if you lose a half a mile, it's not that much.
We aren't gonna, yes,
You wouldn't even see that.
So is there any way you can go to them and say, hey, we'll do an overlay on it?
That's what we proposed.
originally that's what I proposed and it was,
Shut down quick.
they wanted it to town standards.
An overlay is town standards.
Okay, so how long do we have before we absolutely have to do something with it?
Great.
I would say within the next few years.
Like 5, I mean,
I
we
would-
3 to 5 years.
I would, as of right now, I don't have it even in my 5-year budget, but I would say we have to do something to it based on its current condition.
Does it
Like I
come-
said, it's one of those roads, I even forget.
Yeah.
Is it like class B or is there any restrictions on it?
No,
I mean, could we put a restriction on it or does that not gonna?
It's just,
yeah, but I would say it's mostly residential currently on there now. It's just, the issue we have is that it was built in 1974. And the lifespan of a road is typically 20-25 years, so it's well past that. It's just getting to the point where it's a shot.
Does the county have any gravel roads?
No.
Maybe that could be the first one.
Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe gravel.
I think you'd have a lot of public comment coming in here.
really quick.
Pulverized.
We'd have to get a bigger room here for public comment.
Perfect.
So we don't have that south part then going out to eat.
We do, with that little, that goes to Zealy Park.
You'd be keeping that though, is with it.
You're still keeping that then?
Yeah, so Zealy Park is your facilities maintained that.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
I would say we would still keep that.
Mhm.
I mean, we could do a jurisdictional transfer on that
No,
as well,
no,
but
your side.
Let's sell that, pay for that road.
Give them the park for the road.
like I said, I'm just throwing out, just as a discussion to see get your feelings on it. I'm not saying that's something we have to do, but personally, I would like to see us do a jurisdictional transfer of it
It makes
and
sense.
dispose of it and wipe our hands of it. Cause like I said, it serves no purpose for us.
It's the maintenance every year on that thing that's,
We will always have costs with this if we can put our upfront cost potentially in it
So
now.
83 grand, basically. It's out of our,
Is there any?
And I'm not saying it has to be done today.
no,
Like,
no.
we could budget for this.
I wanna drive over and take a look at it, 'cause like how much maintenance is there to do on like trees and stuff like that and right of ways and stuff, or is it fairly back, so that's not gonna be a problem for a little while, or?
I would say that road looks pretty similar to, the roads that you were looking at.
Loop roads?
It's starting to overgrow.
Cause I mean, that's a concern too, cause obviously if we're gonna have to send.
That's just like trees go down, we gotta maintain all that stuff. So that's why I say, if you can get rid of it, I know it's a lot of money, but I just.
But I mean, I'm just
But it
saying
really-
if there's a way
it
we can
is a
push
lot
this
of money,
off.
but it's not a lot of money.
To all of us, it's a lot of money, but when it comes to road building.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, all these other numbers I've been seeing for.
We don't have to plow it. I'm
No,
saying that costs money to plow it, costs money to all that stuff too, maintain it. So.
In a
But
year,
there's no way
a
we
year
can-
from now, it's not gonna be 83,000, it's gonna be
67.
I have no idea.
wishful thinking, my friend.
This year asphalt prices did go down.
See?
I can't speak on that, what, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Oh, I know.
This is something
The norm
we
is
would be
it's
doing,
not
right?
going.
Like,
This would all be done in-house.
Yeah.
I reach out to the DOT, like I said, the only thing that we would have to do for a jurisdictional transfer is both parties would have to be in agreement. So obviously I'd have to bring this back to the committee to do that. And then the town of Springbrook would also have to do not an ordinance, but a meeting, taking ownership of it, and then the DOT would have to review it and approve it. So.
I mean, I'm in favor of getting, transferring that to them, but I would like to see it more around 50, and then maybe we're just squabbling over pennies, I get it, but like, it seems like they could give a little on their end, but whatever, I guess I'm not gonna buy this system for $32,000 either.
Yeah, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to have, actually go to their board meeting and have it as a discussion item.
Mhm.
Talk to all the board members. Like I
Is that
said,
something we could go to?
public meetings, so yeah.
Public
Well, I just mean. Yeah, I'd like to be there to hear.
Yeah, like I said, I just called them, their town chair and reached out to him and he said, yes, they'd be willing to, but they want it done this way. That's as far as I've gotten. So. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to bring that to your attention. I would beg to say none of us here probably knew that this was a county roadway. Just like the road that goes behind the government center, that is a county highway.
So how close is the Eau Claire County line on E from at the right side of that picture? Pretty close.
Side of the bridge.
Literally
right there.
about probably 500-600 feet away.
Yeah.
When you're going up the other side of the bridge, there's Hell Mine Road.
Probably not that far.
Right? It's right
Yeah,
there.
I,
On the north end, there's a Jack Dodge that done some taxidermy work for me.
we're going down there.
Back
Never been on the
back
old
in the
ERs
area.
Oh, I mean, you drive that road, you look and the water act on the side, look like they're higher than your road.
It's true, you're right.
This is, yeah, if you go down.
Yeah, that's something we
take a
should
right
pursue.
and eat, take right to it.
Yeah, like I said, I
Big
think
past Jimmy's place.
But I would think,
nothing will happen until.
Oh, right, yeah.
Maybe,
It's got a shop there.
but I would think if you
All the way
went and
past
talked to
Oak
the
Lake.
whole board,
It's a couple miles.
just explain to them, I think you could get a
Then you,
better deal than just over.
this is,
You know,
correct.
like go there.
there's this outlet. Where's the other?
Yeah.
The little.
Like I said, I just wanted to have this discussion.
You know.
Yep.
So is your,
Sounds good.
I guess your next move, is try to go to their meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to actually
Put the
touch base with them,
proposals out
actually
there.
have.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
Will you let us know when you're going to that?
Sure. I'll touch base with them and see if I can get put on the agenda. Let you know.
right. And you get hold of me.
I found it.
Well, it's not gonna hurt to have. Couple
Just
things
hear
there.
what they're thinking.
Just going through the agenda too as well. I just wanted, I sent an email to you guys, I believe it was last week, just with the WISDOT Northwest Region Work Zone Safety Event, that actually took place yesterday. You might have saw it on the news. I believe Channel 18 and 13 were there. So it was a well-attended event, just to promote the highway safety and work zones, for everybody.
You
Even
have
the
your
traveling
safety
motor.
vest on?
Yep.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we attended, Brent and myself attended the event and very good. So it's nice to see. And last but not least on my staff report is the 2024 highway financials. This is through the month of April. We are currently working on May, so May isn't completely done, so May is not included in this. I didn't show you on the slideshow here, the detail of it, but, just wanted to point out, so right now we're looking at a projection of approximately $1.5 million, surplus. Based on our current spending habits and what's been actually, billed versus our revenue. Obviously, this number, I'm not saying this number could change, but there's gonna be some pretty significant expenses coming in here. Obviously, with our paving that's taking place here in June and well as our B projects, we have not received an invoice yet for our B project, but I'm anticipating that within the week here, so.
I would think, you know, if you come in with too big of a surplus budget, then when it comes for budget time for the county, you're gonna say, hey, we can cut back on the highway a little bit, so you gotta make sure
I
that you're
just
not
wanna.
well off.
I just want to point out though that we are self-sustainable to purchase new equipment going forward. So we want to have a
Fund balance.
surplus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
We
we can
need
buy new
1.5
equipment.
just for new trucks and.
Yeah.
So right now, I
The
think,
tandems and stuff, or the.
I mean, our plow trucks are $300,000 plus.
Right.
I think this year our budget was 1.4 million just for equipment. So like I said, it seems like, yeah, that's a lot of money for a surplus, but
No,
we need to
not in
purchase.
this business.
Correct.
Well, plus a lot of that's because he didn't use a lot of stuff this winter, right?
Correct.
I mean,
We could have a nasty winter next year,
so
so.
exactly. So I mean, I don't know, I
I
guess,
mean, these projections are all great and fine, but it's towards the end of the year is when we'll really see these numbers. I mean, it's hard to compare anything right now.
what I'm saying for the county board should be like, hey, we had
Yeah,
a really easy winter, not typical, so we've got some surplus, but there's a good chance usually the next year's worse. We're gonna need some of that money.
and that's where we gotta like protect that or whatever.
Exactly.
Say, hey, no,
All right, that's it for the report. Anything else?
Yeah, that is it for our staff report.
All right. Moving on to 7A, vouchers. Any questions? Or a motion, I guess.
Make a motion that we approve the vouchers as presented.
second,
Motion's been made second. Any discussion, any questions on any of the bills? If not, all in favor?
All right.
aye,
Any opposed? Motion passes. B, CIP fuel tank and pump proposals. Where did that, I miss that?
Yeah, so I didn't have anything in your packet.
Okay.
We will be taking this off the agenda, obviously. We sent out proposals for 2 fuel pumps based on our CIP request for this year. The numbers came back and we have currently allocated $120,000 for our fuel pumps to replace 2 of them this year, and then we were looking at 2 next year at our outline shops. So these were 1,000 gallon diesel fuel tanks that we would have at our outline shops that are very deteriorated and very old. And we stick a lot of money into trying to keep them running. So based on the results, I'm looking at purchasing all 4 of them this year and then not having those dollars next year in our 2025 CIP. So we are actually rebidding it for 4 pumps and tanks and looking at just buying the materials, and we would be installing the stuff ourselves internally. So that's what we're looking at currently doing. We sent them out yesterday. So on the agenda, I had it on here, but we will not be taking action on that. So I guess we'd probably have to have a motion to remove it and then follow up on next month's agenda.
Motion to remove it,
Suspend.
yeah.
To a certain date.
Go back to the spoons or
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
motion made and seconded to suspend the fuel tank pump proposals a later date. Any session, all,
So where do those get bid out to?
So we put them out on our highway website, and then we also put it to firms and companies that we know of in the area. So U Fuel is one of them.
So there's a few that are bidding on it.
There was 2 that bid on it prior.
Okay.
On the previous,
and put out to those 2 again, so.
yes.
Okay, I was just curious if there's a certain one that will. as well.
Yep.
But all the tanks are above ground, right?
All of them
Are
are.
they a little, how are they off the,
So basically the tanks and the pump are on like a skid, like a little
Okay.
skid plate that
but they're built that way, right, from the company that built the tank?
yes, what we would be looking at doing is just purchasing the tank and the pump and all the assembly, and we would be building our own skid, put it on,
Oh, okay.
and then hooking it up, save costs. So,
Can you use the same retaining walls, same size
We do not have to have a collection site just based on the volume. Anytime you go over, I believe it's 2,500 gallons where you have to have that.
Okay.
That just got changed a while.
Yeah, a couple years ago it was. So we're under that threshold.
All right. Motion approved. Do we approve it or not?
No.
Oh,
You haven't voted yet.
okay, I was gonna say, all in favor of postponing?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. Fender number C, 7C, opposed to blasting.
Yeah, so in your packet, I didn't have it on somewhere in the packet. We sent proposals out for drilling and blasting. We received two proposals from Quick Supply and Olson Explosives. They're the only two that I am aware of in this whole entire area that do this type of work. This would be work to drill and blast 50,000 tons of material at our Fender quarry, which is pretty standard. We usually do it every other year. We are actually down to our bare bones for materials at this quarry. Because we've utilized a lot of it on shouldering and our projects. What was planned in the budget was to blast and drill this year and then crush it next year. I am looking at if there is some cost savings with our winter maintenance and all that to possibly look at crushing it this year. Because we're, like I said, right down to bare bones. If we don't do that internally, then we will have to purchase materials from private entities. So based on the drilling and the blasting, what proposals came in, Quick Supply was the cheapest proposal based on the two to blast 50,000 tons at 69 cents a ton. So that would be my recommendation, is to proceed with Quick Supply to do their drilling and blasting at our Fender quarry.
Where's Fender? Is that the one south of Pioneer?
It's in the town of Lucas, out by the Coyotes out there.
Yeah, south.
Just
South,
off the
south.
29.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
Lucas School, the old
Yep.
Lucas School.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we utilize Quick Supply for our blasting and drilling at the Fender pit.
second. Motion been made and seconded to use Quick Supply for the blasting and drilling. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Seven D, highway application variance, County Road C.
So in your packet, obviously, we presented, so just give you a little background on this particular access property. So County Road C down in the town of Old Galley, which is west of County Road B, north of Old Galley. So back in, I believe it was, based on my notes, back in 2020, we had a request to relocate access to this particular property. This property does have access currently. It's, I believe, considered a resident. I don't know if it's a residential or field entrance. Based on my notes back in 2020, it was a field entrance. That means it has no fire number or address to it. So the existing access does not meet our standards. Our standards at a 55 mile per hour posted roadway is 495 feet of sight distance, which is the DOT theoretical stopping sight distance for somebody to react and stop. So that is the distance. If you're going 55, it takes roughly 500 feet to react and stop, come to where you can actually react to maneuver. So like I said, the existing is 340 feet of sight distance, which is considerably less than what our current standard is. This entrance is grandfathered in, so that obviously means we've allowed it to take place, but we will not approve it for residential purposes because it is a change of use. So the owner has requested to relocate this existing driveway, to remove it and relocate it in a different location to serve their needs. They are looking at converting or utilizing this property for residential use. Back in 2020, when we reviewed this, we denied the access change as well as the relocation, because the relocation just fell short of our minimum requirements. Like I said before, we required 495. The existing was right around 430 feet. That was in one direction. The other direction had 1,000 feet plus on it. So we did find a access that could work, but it would obviously be off of their property and would require an easement. And from my understanding is they would not be issued an easement off of adjoining lands. Per the adjoining landowner. So, that was back in 2020. Mr. White has once again requested this access in the same location as what we denied back in 2020. So he would be removing the existing entrance that's there and relocating it per the location that we reviewed in 2020. I believe Isaac has been out there and re-looked at it. And obviously he came up with 460, right around 430, 460 within 30 feet site distance difference.
What's going this way? This is just straight?
Yeah, so that goes south, and then it curves again down.
Okay, so there's not an intersection per se.
No.
It's just a corner, sight distance.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the issue with the existing driveway is once you make that curve, it goes downhill.
Oh,
And obviously, we can't get 495 feet of sight distance due to that curve. It's flat once you get up on top of this curve, but then we can't see it because of the curve.
So when they pull out of the driveway, looking to the right is where the sight distance is.
Yes.
Limited.
Correct. And right now, between 430 and 460 feet is what we measured for sight distance looking right coming out of the driveway.
So would it be better here than where it is currently?
Yes.
I mean,
If we're looking at the stopping sight distance, it would be 430 versus 340. 340 is the existing. But our
but they still couldn't build a house there if we don't. That's not proof for a residential driveway though, so they couldn't build a house. there.
correct, it would be a change of use.
They'd have to get a permit to use the existing one too, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I was just wanted to clarify.
and I can't picture where this is, but obviously it's on C, so it's south.
So is this a,
It'll be on Elmwood.
is this a road right here?
No. That's just the
Fence line?
Yeah.
Okay, live down there.
It's like how far from like Chris Asher's?
South of that. Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and like I said, we have a policy here, like I said, we have to have some type of guidance and policies, and like I said, we go off of the DOT stopping sight distance numbers based on speeds. And it's 495 feet. If it doesn't meet that, we deny it. Obviously, I have the authority to deny that based on our specifications that the highway committee has approved in our driveway ordinance and whatnot. Do I believe that, yes, this would be an improvement? Yes, but it doesn't follow our specification. So that's why it's here today. So if the highway committee wants to give a variance, special exemption based on what is in our specifications, that's totally up to the committee.
So this,
I drive this road all the time and
coming from the north, you aren't going 55 most of the time because you're coming around the corner and up the hill. So the speed is reduced coming from that direction.
Correct.
So the other thing is that road, I mean, he would obviously know more than me, but from what I've noticed, that road's a lot less busy than
Yeah.
E or something like that. On E or B or whatever, some of those other roads, even H, I would not be in favor of this road. Knowing roughly where it's at, I would,
Cars an hour, 3 cars an hour.
Yeah, if I could guess, there's probably 250 cars a day on it.
Yeah.
now if
Just
it was a commercial,
estimate out.
200.
if you had trucks and stuff coming out of there, I'd probably say no, but if it's just, if it's gonna be a residential, I guess I would be in favor of it.
So, so where is proposed access is requested? Right here?
Yep.
Is that on the edge of his property line?
It's 40
Yeah,
feet.
in our
Okay, so he
specification,
doesn't own to where this fence line is.
That's where the boundary is, right?
So you gotta be off the, you
Wait.
can't be on the line.
You have to be offset.
You
So
gotta
we-
gotta be 40 feet away from a lot line, so.
Right.
we require 10 feet.
Oh, only 10 feet?
Yeah, they have to be 10 feet off of the property line for an access.
So he said he tried, well, whether he did or not, he tried to buy this little bit so that way he could move it down here is the way
Yeah,
Yes.
I understood, but that guy didn't want to sell, so,
he's kind of stuck.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm kind of going through it. 'cause they're
to
capping.
build a house, I mean, I
when you get how much more tax? revenue?
Yeah.
I mean, it's close, I mean, I guess, but up to you guys.
And as you can see, the property, it's a very small frontage, I would say, road frontage.
Mhm.
Actually, if you look at the actual driveway, I don't even know if it's on his property, the existing one. You wanna cut hairs on it, because
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even think
the
that,
40 line that goes
I
north
think
is.
he's actually goes across a little bit there, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if he owns that field up there, but. Well.
I'm leaving it in your hands.
Motion, yes.
I make a motion that we accept it,
Approve the,
approve it, yeah.
motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
Not because it's not a good idea, but it seems like once you start giving like a variance, it makes it easier for the next one. Well, it's only 10 feet less than the last variance.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. But
But I think like in Jerry.
I guess property, I have a hard time with that too.
Yeah, that's how I feel about using the property. And then also, to me, a very big thing was hearing the comments about how much traffic is on. If a road is traveled more heavily,
Could we do like a traffic count just to go into that variance? Because then it would have some kind of credence that it isn't a very used county road. Would that be something possible or would it even be worthwhile?
I'm sure it's there a double traffic count on that.
Not recently, but
I think what he's asking is,
That might
we
be.
changed the standard, and that's, you know what I mean? We
That's
changed a
why.
little bit of a standard, or
Because of
we've
the
taken
traffic.
action against the standard.
Yeah.
Can we look at future situations, say, well, as long as the road's traveled with this many vehicles or less,
I think it's just.
we'll take it into consideration. When it's not even considered.
Well, my thought is if this becomes a problem, we'll have to do that,
Yeah,
I guess.
I agree.
I mean,
with that too.
If it keeps going up, it's like, okay.
45 miles per hour. Anyway, consideration action none. Next meeting is July 10th, same place, same time, and we're officially adjourned.